What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. Look, I was over here preparing for another amazing episode, but look, I need you guys to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell so that you guys don't miss any of our amazing conversations. Have a new episode coming to you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, you ready? What's going on, everybody? It's Q Jackson, host of BLK Talk. Yes, I am back with another amazing episode and another amazing conversation, sure to inspire each and every one of you. So the guy sitting to my left on my side and maybe right on your side is Mr. Josey Wellz. We started working together around 2018. He was a client of Quintessential Branding. He came to the world as a musician, but now he's back and he's ready to inspire the world with his life coaching. Confidence coaching. Yes, it's confidence coaching. Josey, welcome to BLK Talk.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely. Yeah. So look, about 5 years ago, when we originally met and started working together, you came to the world as a musician.
Correct.
And over the course of the last few years, life has taken you in different directions that has brought you to here, where we are today. Confidence coach. Tell us what a confidence coach is.
Well, confidence coach, the word speaks for itself. A lot of people lack self-esteem, have self-esteem issues. They're scared to be their original self. And they take on a lot of the world and allow the world to control or dictate who they're supposed to be. So my job, I work with professionals who want to get over the imposter syndrome, want to get over lack of funds or financial, want to just be able to speak up for themselves and be the best version of themselves possibly.
Okay. Now, one thing I do remember throughout a lot of our conversations in the beginning, a lot of things I would say, you would kind of take them, pause me real quick, and kind of redirect the things I would say in order to make me think in a more positive mindset. So even though you're doing this now, this is something that I've always known you to do. You know, and it was so funny because a lot of the conversations that we had, even if I was having like the worst day, I didn't feel like I could tell him because he was going to redirect that and I was not going to be allowed to sit in that negative feeling. I had to change that if I was going to be in conversation with him. So that's something that I've kind of taken, kind of paid attention to and adjusted my life, I guess, over the years. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it. Thank you for remembering that.
Of course, man. Now people are paying you to change their mind on purpose.
Absolutely.
So how did that happen for you? How did you get to the place where you're like, you know what? I have all of this positivity in me and I want the world to be on a more positive level.
Okay. On a personal note, there were a lot of things that I felt I wanted to self-correct. There's a lot of stuff that, it initiates in childhood that we grow up believing is true. And we accept it because as children from 0 to 12, you have no real filter capability. So you don't know what's right and what's wrong. All you know is what you're surrounded with in your environment, and you grow up with the belief that this is life. So there was a lot of stuff. I had jealousy issues. I had, just personal. I used to get mad quick, anger issues. I had a lot of personal stuff from childhood trauma that really depicted or made me feel like that's who I had to be. So I had to pretty much self-correct and work on those things. And I'm here now.
So being a positive person in a world full of negativity, I know it's very challenging, but how do you overcome it? And like, what are some of the things? Not all of it, y'all not gonna get for free. Some of it, y'all gonna have to go on this website. Y'all gonna have to pay for. But what are some of those like tips that you give people in order to remain positive in a negative environment?
I think the number one thing, it depends on what you want. You can't just say you want something. You have to become what you want, and in order to become, all your attention has to go to what you want. I believe that the number one word that I can use right now is awareness. Awareness means knowing what you're doing, knowing who you are, knowing how you allow things to affect you, and then after becoming aware of it, question it. Why do I feel like this? Why is this my reaction instead of something else? So for me, I started to pay attention to cultures, right? White people are different from us.
Right.
Take, for instance, you see frat boys. White kids, when someone's sleeping, they go put a firecracker in their ass and pop it, and everybody laughs.
Yeah.
And then if it was happening in the black culture, somebody gotta die, type thing. You understand?
Yeah.
Or in the white culture, they may say gay stuff, and everybody laugh. But in the black culture, you say it, and everybody it gets very offensive, and it's like. So I start to wonder, why are they different? Then I realized that if you put a black kid in a white neighborhood to grow up, he's gonna be just like them. And it has nothing to do with the color of the skin. It has everything to do with your environment and where you're raised at. You can take a white kid and put him in the hood, and you're gonna have a nigga.
Yeah.
Like real talk. And then sometimes people think that they're pretending, but in all actuality, this is who they are, because this is where they come from. So I started to really pay attention and then wonder, why are people different? This was my journey into this. And then I was like, well, I don't want to be aggressive. I don't want to get mad. Why am I mad? Why am I jealous? Why are these feelings coming over me when another man hugs my lady? I don't want to feel like that. And I started to really, really question myself, where are these emotions and these feelings coming from? Then I learned that childhood is a mother. Like it's because you grow up as a child watching and listening, not on purpose. That's just what children do.
Yeah.
And I speak to a lot of parents and let them know, like, listen, you have no idea how much your child knows just by watching, and you think you're hiding something when they know.
Yeah.
So you have to be real careful what you raise your kids in and around, because they're picking up. And my journey, part of my journey, my father used to sing a song when I was like 4 or 5 years old. Nobody loves me. I'm nobody's child. And he sang it, and for years, every relationship I'm in, this song is playing in the back of my head, in the back of my body, in the depths of my soul. This song is playing. So I'm suffering, not knowing that I don't need love from other people to feel love. So I'm thinking that, so every relationship I'm in, I'm begging a girl to love me. I'm looking for my friends to accept me because I have this idea from childhood that nobody loves me. So, I had to eradicate those beliefs. That's not my story. That's my dad's story. But as a child, he's singing it around the house for years. And I'm singing it too, not realizing that it's more detrimental to me when I get older. Now I'm in relationships and I don't have any friends because this idea that's been deep, deep, deep down inside. And this is where the awareness comes in. I'm not aware why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. I'm just feeling it, thinking, and I'll say things like, this is who I am. I can't change. So when you have these beliefs and these ideologies, you grow up thinking that this is life, then I realize that I can change.
Now, I want to tap in on the child listening to things that are going on in their surroundings, mainly with their parents. When you grow up and you get to a place of awareness and acknowledging like some of the things that you're going through, some of the real feelings that you have. Do you or did you ever have the opportunity to go to your parents and say, you know what, Mom, you know what, Dad, I was sitting here thinking about my life, and I realized that there were some things that you guys may not have known you were doing, but this is what you did, and this is how it affected me.
I have. I don't want to say confronted, but I've sat with my parents and we've had our powwow. And my mom, she said, we didn't know, we don't know. And I to be honest with you, my father just recently passed away 2 weeks ago. Just buried him. But when I learned about where he come from and what he had to go through, man, that dude is the realest dude that was in my life, because he had to go through what he's, and I'm sure that his intention, whatever he did for us, was good. His intention was good. So I have the utmost respect, because he did things with the idea that he was doing it for the better, not knowing that, but he didn't know it. They didn't know. They come from islands, and he's an island man. So trust me, I'm proud of him. Yeah. I'm proud of my mom too. Because they really try to set us up. Even though we couldn't see it at the time as children, and when you get young adults and you want some rebel, you're rebellious. You don't really see it. But now I'm a grown ass man, and I'm looking back like, y'all did. I love who I am. Like look what y'all did. Yeah. Like every beating was necessary for me to get here. You feel me though? That's
now look though. Now this is what I want to know, because I've had this experience with my own parents.
Okay. This is a breakthrough moment, y'all. Listen, I'm gonna send you a cash app, new PayPal.
We're gonna put it down in the link below. Absolutely. So y'all go ahead and click on it. And if y'all were empowered by anything that this man is saying today, go ahead and send him some money. And then we're gonna put his website so you can go ahead and book him for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because y'all all need help. We all need help.
I just want to piggyback off of that. Your favorite celebrity has a life coach, confidence coach. When it comes to being great, and I'm not just talking about having a 9-to-5, and there's nothing wrong with 9-to-5, but if your mindset is on building wealth, if your mindset is on growing, if your mindset is on overcoming generalized, what's it called, generational curses. Yes. If your mindset, we all need help, and we all need help. Like honestly speaking, you can't do this thing alone. Life has a way of hitting you with the jabs and knocking you down. And even as a boxer, you got a coach. Everybody in sports has a coach, because you need someone that can see what you can't see, and then you need somebody to hold you accountable. And that's where I come in. Like, we got to get it right. We got to get it right. Do your affirmation, do your mirror work. Let's get it together. Yeah. Because and then what's the beautiful part about it is it doesn't take long to start feeling the change. Okay. You stick with something for 30 days. I guarantee you, if you come through my program, you're gonna be a changed person.
You're gonna be living well.
Absolutely.
Yes. So going back to what we were talking about, speaking of accountability, having the conversations with your parents about some of the things that they've experienced. Now, as you know, different generations experience different things. The generation before us, well, from what I know, was taught that whatever goes on in the house stays in the house. Like, you don't tell outside people what's going on. Black men, you can't have emotions. You can't cry. You can't do this. There are a lot of things that you cannot do that we in this current generation are changing. So we are breaking those generational curses. Man. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to go to therapy and talk to somebody. It's okay to walk away if the situation does not work for you, because we are not staying in a relationship just for the kids anymore. Like, I actually have to like you. You actually have to bring something to my family. So with that being said, do you feel that in your journey in life, confidence coaching, you had to go back and teach your parents anything, like feed anything new into them, a new perspective?
I don't think that I have to go back or have to go back. We're close,
Mm-hmm.
and they see how I move, you know. And then there's family members that come back to them and tell them, like, listen, have you been talking to your son? Because he the truth. He the truth. So they hear it. See, but my parents are a little different. My parents are religious.
Mm.
And one thing I can give them, that they're diehard religious people. So they're gonna stick to their guns. So no matter, you know, at the end of the day, they have their beliefs, and I respect them for having their beliefs and going so hard. Because if you can believe in something and go hard for it, then you deserve to be where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they're you know, we just have different beliefs, but they're proud of me in their own way. You know, I ain't dead, or I ain't in jail, or I ain't out here, you know, selling drugs. So, you know, this parts, you know, they want me to come back to church, but yeah.
But you're doing the Lord's work in a completely different way. You meet the people where they are, and that is equally as important.
Absolutely.
So you are responsible for a new generation of people. You know, you are a father. As far as raising young black men, what things do you feel that you had to teach your sons in a different way than was taught to you?
Ownership, personal responsibility. I practice radical responsibility.
Radical responsibility.
Accountability.
Uh-huh.
This is my life. So in my life, every experience belongs to me.
Mm-hmm.
Take, for instance, if you call me and say, hey, Josey, let's go to such and such. And I show up and we go there and something happens to me, I would never say, hey, it's your fault that I was there. I decided to go. So I take full ownership. This is my experience. A lot of times people want to blame their circumstances on other people.
Mm. Yes.
And sometimes happen in relationships. I was speaking to a young lady the other day, and she said, he wasted my time. And I asked, how did he waste your time? Well, he knew he didn't want to be with me, and he still led me on. How long was y'all talking for? 6 months. So it took you 6 months to realize that he was wasting your time. First and foremost, I don't believe anybody could waste anybody's time. Mm-hmm. If I decide to hang out with you for 6 months, this is my time that I'm wasting.
Yep.
You're not wasting my time. So I tell people all the time, your life, your responsibility. Mm-hmm. And that's the bottom line. If it happens in your present, it's your experience. Mm-hmm. Own it. And what I also learned too is that when you take ownership of experience, you be very careful of the decisions that you make. It's like, well, I want good things to happen, so I want to make good decisions. Mm-hmm. And it's like clockwork. You make good decisions, you hang around good people, you speak good on people, and the result is good. I tell people all the time, our cause and effect, right? Something's to happen right now, this moment. It's the effect. Nobody ever wonders about the cause. Because the way things happen to us is cause and effect. Mm-hmm. This wouldn't happen without this.
Yeah.
Do you understand how that works?
Uh-huh.
So now you have to figure out what's going on in your life that brought this effect to you. You are the because. And what did you do to bring it to you? When you understand that nothing happens by accident.
Yeah.
Right? They say it all the time, what goes around comes around. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the exact same thing. But you can guarantee that you plant this seed, by their fruit, you shall know them. Mm. So now that what that does now, it makes you become more responsibility about the decisions that you make. Now it gets deeper. The cause is the decision on the thoughts. Mm-hmm. Right? I tell people all the time, think of a timeline, right? the body goes on that timeline: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, but it goes daily. The body, right? Your thoughts and your words, think of them as futuristics. They go way before you. So when the body's going Monday, so you say something on Sunday, and it goes weeks ahead. So the body goes to 1 week, 2 week, and then you see it the following Sunday, you see what you said. Or it happens to you. So you say some shit like, man, this always happens to me. I'm always broke, right? 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, and then something happens to make you even more broker than you was when you said it. So your job today, is to speak on yourself good, knowing that you're going to see it in the future.
So words are power. You really do believe that. So it's more than just the
if you go
word,
backwards,
though.
Go back. It's the feeling. It's the conviction.
It's the thought behind the word.
It's the thought. So if you think of thoughts as seeds, right? Your mind is the garden. Your mind is the garden of the things you think about, right? You plant the seeds inside your mind. You conceive a thought. Just like a man and a woman conceive a baby. So you plant the seed.
Okay.
Right? That's why I'm about to get real deep. You're the Virgin Mary, bro.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to have sexual intercourse to impregnate yourself. And what you do with a seed or a baby, when a woman's pregnant, what does she do? She nurtures it. She waters it. She takes care of it.
Make sure she's eating
right.
right.
And one day, the house that you wanted, the thought, remember that seed you planted? One day it's birthed into your world. Jesus. Here to save you from whatever it is you're ailing about. That's how life works, bro. It's pretty simple. It's not hard. We just make hard
simple. I was just about to say it's so simple, but why? In your experience, why do we make things harder than they have to be?
Patience. Everybody has the same ability, but most people don't have to. Most people don't have patience. They don't have the idea that if I stick with this idea long enough, that it's going to happen. That was my issue with the music. I didn't have patience. I had a great time, bro. And when I sit back and say, yo, I actually had fans. Damn, I went to Africa for my music. I went to England for my music. It's like, yo, I was really doing this thing. But I didn't see it at the time. And so, you know, I say, this ain't for me. You know, and then on time, I think I started a little late in the music thing, so I just don't have the patience.
So with something like that, would you go, like looking back, realizing what you actually did accomplish during your time, whether you feel like you started late, whether you felt like it wasn't moving as fast, you did accomplish more than nothing.
Yeah.
Like, would you ever go back?
Yes. Not right now.
Okay.
Right now, my focus on, that's another thing I practice too. One idea at a time. So back then I was all over the place. You know, I look at it as when you go to the airport, you can pick multiple destinations, but how many can you get to at a time?
Yeah, that's true.
So and then you have to have a destination. You can't just go to the airport and say, "Let me get a ticket." They're like, "Okay, sir, where you going?" So back then, I didn't know where I was going. When you come and ask me, "Hey, what's the target?" I just play the music. So now you have to have a target. Like just like I have a target. I said I work with professionals that want to knock out the imposter syndrome, or want to build their confidence, or want to become a leader and don't know how. So now that's the target market. So you want to be a leader? That's the destination. I could teach you how to be a leader. And the first person you need to lead is yourself.
Now, this is what I want to know, because this just popped in my head. When you think of a destination, when you're going to the airport, there's a lot that comes with different destinations. Whether it's out of the country, whether it's in the country, whether it's in your life, whatever it is, different destinations cost a different price. why do you feel different destinations, and we're not talking about cities or states or countries, why are different destinations more expensive than others?
I think the bigger the reward, the bigger the risk.
Mm.
You know, you want to make $100,000 in a year. You might not have to do as much as you need to do to make $1 million in a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just depends on what you're trying to do. You know, I believe in work. I believe in work. I believe in if you're not working, somebody better work for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like I said, the bigger the reward, the bigger the risk. So when you say expensive, you mean time, effort, agility, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
You know, yeah. If you want to go big, you gotta go hard. You know.
So when it comes to confidence coaching, what do you feel is a person's number one hesitation, or what are some of the common hesitations you've noticed when it's come to people actually signing on to get a confidence coach or a life coach or a therapist or whatever?
What is the most common
Hesitation
to get one?
Yeah, because a lot of people know that they
It's the
need
money. Oh. Okay. Most people believe in tangible items.
Mm-hmm.
A book. I sell you a book. You got a book.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a stigma as I don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the issue. But like most times, it's paying for something that you can't hold in your hands. They don't see the bigger picture, though.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger picture is, I want you to put the work in order for things to work out.
Mm.
So my job is to help you work on the inside. So let me tell you, I'm going to break it down for you. Whoever made our words, brilliant, intelligent,
Mm.
intelligent. Any word that begins with N is talking about you.
Self.
All right?
Okay.
Income.
Money coming.
Income comes from out of you. You make what you believe you're worth.
Mm.
The more you believe, and that's the key word, is believe. All right? There's two things fighting inside of you. You have the ego and you have God. Whichever one you lean towards the most, and ego deals with the man. All right? When you lose sight of the God in you, you go with the ego. And usually with ego, that's when things don't really work out for you. So your job is to work together with God
Mm-hmm.
and then make things happen. Because I tell people all the time, God isn't here to judge anyone. There's something called the law that'll take care of you. And I'm not talking about police.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about law. God, what we believe God is the executor. Meaning that you feel and talk about yourself in a certain type of way, and God says, that's what you want. It's yours. You'll never say no. You're the one with the willpower. You're the one using the willpower to get whatever you want. Most people like to think in a negative way about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And God sits back and says, must be what you want. You keep on seeing or saying you're broke. You keep on seeing poverty. This is where your focus is going. This is where your attention is going. I got you. There's two lines that's fighting inside of you. There's a negative line and a positive line. Which one do you want to win?
I mean, we all want the positive line to win.
So then, if we all want the positive line to win, why do we keep feeding the negative one?
That's a good question. And I was having a conversation with someone, and it could very well be not the truth. But some people feel that it's easier. It just seems easier to be negative. It takes more energy to be.
Just habit. It's just habitual.
Yeah.
It's only easy because you've been doing it for so long. Remember I said this is from childhood. You're dealing with all right. We about to get deep. The Bible is a great book. Has nothing to do with religion.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to do with religion. Whoever wrote the Bible, the people who wrote the Bible, brilliant. The way they humanized or made the Bible to be, like relatable.
Yes.
But here's the thing: if you think of the Bible from a psychological point of view, it makes a lot of sense, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And this is how it messes people up all the time, right? The Bible in the Ten Commandments says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before." Now, if this was the big God, why didn't he say, "Thou shalt have no other gods other than me"?
Because he's allowing you to have others. He's just number one.
No. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. When you go on a plane, right, and they're giving the instructions in case anything happens, they say, when the masks come down, put your mask on first, and then help other people.
Yeah.
I will have no other gods before me. I take care of myself, and then when I'm full, my cup overfloweth. Bro, I got you. You could have whatever you want, bro. I'm gonna take care of you because I'm full, bro. If you're full and overflowing, do you care who gets from you, bro?
All these years, and I've heard that so many times, and I have never. I was this today years old when I realized that makes so much sense.
I will have no other God before me. A lot of people, like I said, the word God just irritates people to the fact that because we believe that we're not. Bro, you're the God of your world. In your world, you this is your world. I'm in your world right now, bro. If you tell me to leave right now, I gotta go. I'm in your world, and in your world, you control how things go on in your world.
Right.
And a lot of people don't understand that what comes out your mouth is law in your world. So you speak law over yourself every day.
Yeah.
Even Jay-Z said it. I'm now careful with the sentences. Those are the only jail bars I like. You build a world of jail for yourself when you speak. So whatever you say about yourself, I'm successful. That's my jail. In my world, that's my jail. I speak it onto myself. In the beginning, you think of a word. You think, thought, you plant a seed, and that seed stays with you.
Right.
And one day, that seed turns into flesh or the physical. You wanted a house. Before you had the house, it was nothing. But you thought about it. And you worked towards it. You watered it. You got your credit together. You got everything that you needed to get together. And then one day, the word that started with a word became flesh or physical. You even, bro, we've been doing it all our life. All our life we've been doing this. It's not new. It's just that we've been doing it by default. So when you say that it's easy to think negative, think about when you grew up and what was around when you grew up. It's easy. Yeah. It's easy, and it's just habitual.
Wow.
So practice being happy for 30, 40, 60 days. I promise you, you won't be able to get mad. Even when moments you're like, I feel like I should be mad right now. But I don't want to be mad. It's for me, being happy is a habit.
It's easier to be happy.
Yes.
It's easier to be positive instead of negative.
It's a habit. Being happy for me is a habit. So most people they're very balanced with a negative and a positive lifestyle. So when something happened negative, they go quick to it, and that's where they stay. I try to tell people all the time, you're not your emotions, you're not your feelings, you're not your body, you're not even yourself. You are pure consciousness and aware awareness of being. That's all you are. Right now, you're a talk show host. That's what you're aware of being right now. When we leave, you're going to get on the phone and call whoever, and you're going to be whoever you are at that moment. The real you is just conscious of being. This is something you've been practicing for so long that you're aware of who you are at that moment. And you can change anytime you want to change. Right now, if I want to be, I could be a dancer. I could be whatever I want to be, and that's the problem. That's the problem, not the problem. But that's what people don't understand is that people get so engulfed into their emotions, they become the emotion. People get so engulfed in their feelings, they become their feelings. Mm-hmm. You ever heard somebody say, I blacked out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you went headstrong into an emotion. And you became that emotion so much that you didn't realize what was going on around you.
You became the emotion and stopped being yourself in that moment.
Wow. So the self, let's talk about the self. You're not yourself. Yourself is a separate entity from you. Self listens to everything you say and executes. That's why growing up, the you are now wasn't here yet. You was all self. That's why your parents could tell you who you are, and you accepted it because the you who you are now have a defense mechanism. I mean, somebody could come tell you something, you're like, I'm good. As a child, you don't have that. So if a mother or a father tell you, hey, you dumb, you accept it. Mm-hmm. Oh, you ain't never gonna be nothing. You accept it. Oh, you always effing up. You accept it. You ain't never gonna graduate. You gonna get arrested. You accept it. And then you walk around, you grow up with these. That's how I went to jail. You know, my parents always talking about jail in the house. Mm-hmm. At 15 years old, I'm on the block. I take me to jail. I didn't know nothing about jail. What am I doing? I said it. It didn't take very long. I went to jail. And I wasn't over yet. I was still in that mentality even when I came home. I went back to federal prison because the mentality. Then, while I was in prison, 2007, I said, man, when I get out, I'm going to find a job where I can drive, go around the country and make a lot of money. I came home a week. Yo, you know what insurance adjustment is? No, what's that? Oh, you travel around the country and get drug money. Stop playing. Bro, I made a lot of money. Driving around the country, I spoke it in 2007, 2008. Had no idea what I was doing. This shit is easy, bro. We do it to ourselves, not knowing better. If you say you're struggling, you're right. Who am I to say that you're not?
Because we all have a different definition of what different things in life are.
But you make meaning out of anything. So whatever it is to you, if you believe in it. People ask me if I believe in God. Yeah. Where do I believe from? From here. That's why you can't tell me you don't believe in the devil if you're talking about him. You believe in the devil. Your attention, your energy, and your time. These are the three most important assets that you will ever have.
Attention, energy, time.
Or whatever they're pretty much the same. Because whatever you put your time into, you put energy into. Mm-hmm. Whatever you put energy into, you put attention into. Mm-hmm. So, what are you doing with this? Now, you can't tell me that you want to have a good life where people respect you, and you want to be live flourish, and you want to just be prosperous, but yet the things you pay attention to, give your time to, and spend energy on is not in alignment with who you say you want to be. It's impossible for you to get there. You can't tell me you want to have a good relationship, but everything you watch on social media It talks about cheating. It talks about abuse. It talks about you. It's impossible because you're not aligned with what you say you want. Oh, I want to have a good girlfriend that does this, that, third, but yet you watching Pornhub every day. It don't work like that. So your job, because you're different from me, your good is different from my good.
Mm-hmm.
But in your world, your job is to, let's say you have an imaginary basket, pick everything you want and put it in that basket. And that is all you pay attention to. So when somebody comes and say, yo, Q, you heard about the people that got killed down the street? Don't put that in me. Input. Don't put that in me. In formation. Inside. Formation is patterns. I don't want them patterns. I don't want that in me. Individual. Inside. Divided. Dual. By two. You're not yourself.
Damn. Like I'm speechless, and it's very rare that I'm speechless. But you are hitting on some major points.
So your job as the Adam in your life. Remember the story of Adam and Eve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I remember I tell you, whoever wrote the Bible, genius. Adam and Eve. When you go to a hypnotist, they don't want to talk to Adam.
Why?
Because Adam he knows too much. He's going to argue. He's going to
Be
reason.
combative.
He's going to be combative. Like, I don't know. Eve doesn't do any of that. Eve accepts. That's who you are from 0 to 12 years old. You're all Eve. That's why in the Bible, the serpent went to Eve and said, yeah, eat this. You're going to be wise as God. Exactly.
Wow.
So your job as Adam is to protect who?
You're Eve.
At all costs. You don't need to know all information in the world, especially detrimental to what you want to do with your life. Your job is to take information that's going to benefit you. That's why when people start telling you things, you should ask yourself a question. Okay, how does this help me? What am I going to do with this information? Do I need to know this information? And if you don't need to, think about it. This information does nothing for me. They asked Albert Einstein how many feet is in a mile. Like, why do I need to know that? If I need to know that, I just ask somebody who works with that. But nowadays we got Google, bro. We don't need to know anything.
Yeah.
When you want to know something that's outside of the realm of what you're doing, Google it.
And if you need it, keep it. And if you don't, then throw it away.
I tell people all the time, start telling yourself when you see things, tell yourself, that's not for us. Don't download that. Because what happens is you have 5 senses. This is how you survive in this outer world. 5 senses, right? You're recording all the time, right? The more you give it your attention, the inner you says, okay, this must be what you want. And then they they connect with the other cells around the world, right? You thinking negatively, I promise you're going to meet another self in the supermarket to make sure that you express or project what you've been feeling on the inside.
Wow.
So your life, your responsibility. That's why you have to be very careful about what you think. Be careful about who you hang around with. And here's the thing too, you're a magnet. So that means once you fix yourself, you're going to attract people that's like you. Yeah. So you don't ever have to worry about nothing.
So when people say protect your energy, protect your peace, why? I mean, and you said,
well, okay. Here's the thing. When you work it, remember the self. The self is here for you. The self wants your love. Love yourself. Love yourself. self. The self wants your love. You understand? The self is jealous. I am a jealous God. All right? And once you fill that self up, you gracefully do things for other people. Protecting your peace and protecting your energy. Yes, at first. And then there'll come to a time when your energy and your peace protects. When it first started, remember, so you got to think, when I think about Jesus all the time, I'm not religious. Jesus was a man that understood how to use his mind. He partied. He hung around with the street people.
Yeah.
Right? But he also went alone by himself. You know why? Because that's when things are happening. You get to talk to yourself. And the temptation that came to him was because of who he was before. Because you don't recognize nothing you don't know. You can never get tempted for something that you've never done before.
Are y'all catching this? Like,
it has to be in you. That's how you get tempted. When a person stopped drinking, he used to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Stop smoking, he used to smoke. If you don't know about it, it won't bother you. This story is called a Pilgrim's, what is it called? Oh, shit. Pilgrim's, Pilgrim's Passage or something like that, where it talks about a man was traveling. He had a boulder on his back. Pilgrim Progress. He had a boulder on his back. He had a bag with a bunch of bricks inside. Mm-hmm. And he's traveling. And he's walking. And he stops at a rest stop. And somebody says to him, "Hey, why do you have that boulder on your back? It looks pretty heavy." And he says, "Oh, I didn't even know this one was there. But thanks." And he puts the boulder down. And he keeps on traveling. And somebody else stopped him and said, "Why are you carrying a big bag of bricks?" He said, "Oh, man, I didn't even know I had this." He puts the brake, he takes the brakes out, he carries the bag. And then he sees a little kid. He said, "Mister, why do you got the weeds around your legs?" "Oh, man, I didn't even know I had them. Thanks a lot, man." And he carries them on his day, and he realized that his load got a lot lighter. The moral of the story is, it had nothing to do with the things he was carrying. It has everything to do with his awareness of the things he was carrying.
Here we are with that word, awareness again.
Awareness. A lot of us aren't aware of who we are. You know, we don't ask ourselves questions. We just take it. You ever heard of the story about the lady with the girl with the meatloaf in the pot? Okay. One day this girl, cooking a meatloaf in the pot. The boyfriend comes in and says, "Babe, what you doing?" And she's like, "Well, I was cooking me." She's like, why are you using that small little pot?" "No, this is how you're supposed to be made." And she's ready to argue. He's like, "Well, I think you use a bigger pot." "Nah, this is how it's supposed to be made. My mama used to do it. My grandma used to do it. Everybody I know you do it like this." "Okay, call your mother." Call mommy out. "Hey, Mom, I've been cooking this meatloaf in the pot. Ain't we supposed to do it?" She's like, "Yeah, that's what we supposed to do because grandma did it." And they called grandma. Grandma said, "Hey, yeah, your great grandmama did it." They called great grandma. And she said, "Well, we ain't had no other pots to use, so we use a small pot." You understand? Generational curses. Mm-hmm. And it's just passed on, and nobody says, "Okay, why are we doing this?"
Nobody questioned it.
Why?
That's what they were taught.
Because that's what we taught. My household, I was taught not to question God. Like, Mom, if I don't know, and I really want to know, what am I supposed to do?
Not questioning God meant you could not question them.
Absolutely.
Because they didn't know.
And my mom used to make stuff up. Like, "Mom, okay, so Cain killed Abel and then left. But he found a wife. If you say that they were the first people, where does wife come from?" "Well, Adam had other kids." Adam had other kids, and I'm like, so that was his sister. So did he have to wait? Because he found another wife in another town. But they make stuff up because.
And then we go through life spreading this same stuff because that's what we were taught.
Let me tell you something, right? Remember the word I use, individual. Bro, we're individuals. Each and every one of us brings something different to this world. Everybody wonders and questions what their purpose is. The number one common purpose is service. All the billionaires in the world, they might be billionaires, but they all have a business that produces service. Mm-hmm. And you know how you become rich? By solving a problem, a bleeding neck problem. Take, for instance, I always talk about this one, when you go in the bathroom and you put the little film tissue on the teeth. Genius! Genius! Something as small as that. How can you make man's or the world's life easier? If you can solve a problem in the world, bro,
they always need what you have.
And that's what this world is about. It's about, bro, think about it this way. And this is where I have my conflict with heaven and all this stuff, right? If we were to go to heaven, the heaven that we've heard about, would our power of choice be taken away? If you went to heaven and said, well, Jesus, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. Can I go see what my cousin doing down there? You know what I'm saying? Like you understand? We're different, bro. We're all different. And for me, heaven is a state of mind. This is the only life I know. My cousin was trying to argue me. You don't think that Satan was arguing with God in heaven? I said, bro, I've been here since 1982. I don't even know the years when I was born up till about 3-4 years old. I can tell you from there what happened in my life. I don't know anything else. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you about something that I wasn't there witness for. All right? But I can tell you that in my life, I've tried things. I've been places. I've made mistakes. I've been in relationships. I see where I went wrong. I see where I could have been better. And this is what I'm taking my life stories from to help other people. Like, listen, it can get rough if you think this way, you know? And that's a habitual thought. And that's what I can do. But I can't tell you about stuff that I wasn't there to witness. You know? And that's what a lot of people get to arguing and stuff. And that, you know, arguing for me is two people with their own point of views, and this is what they're saying. This is what I know. This is where I've been, and this is how I feel. What's the point of an argument? What happens is people want people to feel like they feel. You can't feel how you feel. I'm not you.
Because we are individuals.
We all have our own purpose, and I think our job is one to experience life, right? And then make decisions. Because you don't know nothing until you experience life. And then when you get to age, you look back like, okay, I got enough experience now. I kind of know how to move a little better. I could make certain decisions and live an amazing life. You know, but you're not going to go through. That's why, you know, like I said, when it comes to Jesus, it's like his whole life disappears from 12 to 33. What do you think Jesus was doing in those years? He was experiencing life. He was living. And then whatever happened, let me tell you something about great people. You don't become great without no experiences. The world is perfect as it is. You wouldn't really understand happiness if you never understood pain. Pain has to exist in order for happiness to exist. You don't know joy without pain.
Yeah.
So now you sitting back and you get to decide and tell the God in you what you want. Okay, I've had that already. I know where I come from. I want that. If you never had that, then you just don't need for this.
So you know what? As we begin to wrap up, for all of the people out there that feel that negativity and sadness and confusion and lack of self-awareness have been things that have been a little too common in their life, and you want to change that, and you need somebody to help you, but you don't know who. Guess what? You might have prayed for, and they might have brought you this man right here. So what I want you to do is look at those people right there and tell them why Living Wellz, life coaching, confidence coaching is an important tool that they need in their life.
Well, first of all, Living Wellz. The name says it all. You know, I promote Living Wellz because I think the main reason is because I didn't have nobody to really guide me in a way that I guide people now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of my biggest things. There's many of us, but there's not many of us, if that makes sense. So if you want to change the trajectory of your life, you're going to have to invest in yourself. That's the bottom line. You want to
invest yourself. Those words again. It's a couple words that you've been using all day, and I will never look at these words the same when I say them.
Mm-hmm. I go back to the Bible a lot because I didn't understand it how I understand it now. When the Bible talks, it talks about you. If you start putting everything you see in the Bible and putting it inside of you, you're the Bible. This one text my mom used to say all the time: train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he won't depart from it. Now I look at me, I look at my brother, I look at my sister, I look at my children, and I say, couldn't be talking about them. There's a child inside of you that, once again, always wants your love. The way you want to be spoken to is the way you speak to yourself. The way you want to be treated is the way you treat yourself. Because train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he won't depart from it. That child is the inner child in you. Once you train yourself, like I said, it becomes habitual. You will never forget who you are. So you have to train yourself to become the person you want to become. And that takes practice. Practice being happy. You never have another sad day in your life.
Damn, that's deep. Okay. Let the people know how they can follow you, how they can book you, how they can get those services, and how their lives can be better. And they can be Living Wellz.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me on Instagram. I'm big on Instagram. My handle is JoseYWellz_official. Once again, that's JoseYWellz_official. And I'm going to say it one more time because repetition is power. You got that?
I got it.
No, repetition is power.
Repetition is power.
JoseYWellz_official. Also, my website is livingwells.com, and that's Wells with a Z, LIVINGWELLZ.com. And if you're interested in booking some sessions, you're more than welcome to go on my website and fill out an intake form where my company will reach out to you and gather some more information, and we can go from there and take these steps to greatness.